heard that one before. Learn, prosper. Wow. Good. Yes, sir.
What's your purpose in life?
What's the purpose of life? It's not a bad one. Very good. Yeah?
For your salvation.
For your, brothers, hardcore over here. For your salvation. There you go. For your salvation. Yes, sir.
Do you know your Lord or learn about your Lord?
Very good. Learn about your Lord. Do you know your Lord?
Protect yourself.
Oh, man, I like this guy. Do you sell insurance, sir? He said, protect yourself. Very nice. I like that. These are great. I have to steal some of these. I've never heard that one before. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Here we go. Protect yourself. You know? So when you protect yourself, hi. So, great. Excellent. Good job, you guys. Excellent. Anyone want to add anything? Yes, sister.
Correct some misconceptions about Islam.
What's that?
Correct some misconceptions about
Okay, nice. And possibly when you say that, your pamphlet has something to do with that, right? Great. Yes, sir.
You already know the answer?
Sorry?
You already know the answer?
You might say that as you're handing it out?
Yeah, because, let's say it says, who is Allah? And you'd be like, you think that you already know the answer?
Okay, good. Excellent. One more. Yes, sir?
Explore Islam.
Explore Islam and?
The truth is near.
The truth is?
Near.
Near? Okay. The truth is near. The truth is here. Okay, good. Great. So, now, and the one I like to use, and just happens to be the one, but I might start using protect yourself now, is that, free information on the purpose of life. That's just what we say. Just nice and easy. Free information on the purpose of life, free and beneficial. They take it, thank you very much, have a nice day. Free information on the purpose of life. They refuse it, thank you, have a good day. If they take it, and then sometimes they look you in the eye. Free information on the purpose of life. What is the purpose of life, sir? And then they might tell you something. And whatever, right or wrong, it doesn't matter. The whole point is they stop and you might say, well, this is what Islam says is the purpose of life. And you start talking. Free information on the purpose of life. Free and beneficial. And my thing is, you either take it or you hear it. So if they don't want to take the pamphlet from me, I want to still make sure they hear the message. So free information on the purpose of life. They don't take it. And what is the purpose of life, sir? To worship the Creator is the purpose of life. Thank you very much. Free information on the purpose of life. Just like that. You're walking around, you're talking to people. Good morning. You're greeting them. I always tell people, you already look like Osama. So smile when you meet people. It's a nice experience. You smile. You have good morning and good day. And thank you very much. They take it. You thank them. They don't take it. You thank them. It's not a problem. And that makes that whole shy thing and embarrassment thing go away. They say no, just thank them very much, and that's it. And it has happened in the past when you refuse. Like one time someone refused to take a pamphlet, I still thanked them. And they came back and they liked the fact that you were polite to them. I said, you know what, thank you, I'll take it. Come, it doesn't matter. It's fine. So I think I won't skip any pages. I'll just go over them quickly so we didn't skip any page. Now here in the end, know what you're handing out. I want you to think of a number of things here. First of all, not every pamphlet is good. That's the truth. There's some pamphlets that are not good. They're not well written. That's true. And some of them, and the majority maybe, and we're just now starting to see some new stuff come out. But for the last 15 years, we've been handing out stuff printed in the 70s. With that horrible ink, and the different and weird language, and not relevant, and just so on and so forth. So not every pamphlet is good, and not every good pamphlet, we've established that it's good, not every good pamphlet is appropriate. Right? Who practices polygyny? Is that a good pamphlet? Yeah, it's a good pamphlet. But is it appropriate for every situation? I'm walking on the street just handing out that pamphlet. Yeah, here you go. The man says, polygyny? Ashhadu an la ilaha. Think that? Probably not. But what if I have an event about women in Islam? So I have, that pamphlet, who wears the veil, women in Islam, polygyny. Is it appropriate now? Makes sense now. So not every pamphlet is good, and not every good pamphlet is appropriate. So it's good to have a rough idea of what you're handing out. I like to suggest a pamphlet that roughly covers Tawheed, the Prophet ﷺ, and the other 4 pillars. And something about maybe life and death in the end. And there are many like that, by the way. Most of them tend to have those important points in there. And so have a rough idea, just skim through it, know what you're handing out. Because a lot of times people, they just, they come into the box of pamphlets that they're going to hand out. And so they say, oh, well, let me have some of the green. The blue is nice, some of the red, any more of the pink, and we have problems now. So it's not about the colors, you know what you're handing out. Because the joke is, you give it to a non-Muslim and they say, what is this about? And your answer is? About Islam, right? Of course it is, right? Alright, so, know what you're handing out. Anyone want to ask anything about this page? Yes, sir?
I noticed that in Canada, people are a little bit different. I wouldn't say that they're nicer or meaner than in the States, but like even at Walmart, in the United States they have greeters, and the greeters are very aggressive in the United States because Americans are like that. Whatever they think, they say it out loud. In Canada, the greeters are asked not to talk to people. Actually,
really?
They're asked like when people come, be there, be seen, and people will come to them and ask them for directions. But Canadians are not really like that. And I've noticed that because when I visited Dallas, people would pour out their life story to you, and you don't even know them.
The greeters or just people?
People in the street. It's strange. So, like, people say Canadians are nicer. They're not nicer, but they just, like if you hand out a bunch of pamphlets, they kind of, they think, Jehovah's Witness. They think people like that. So I think, I don't know if I'm correct, but I think Canadians are a little higher.
Okay, good. So, well, thank you for saying that, because, obviously I don't live in Canada. Like I had this incident 3 years ago. I went to give the workshop in the UK. And a lot of the things that applied to the US just were totally useless in the UK. The whole section on Trinity was useless in the UK. Most people don't believe in Trinity. Most people are atheists. And the problem to run into there are the atheists, not those who believe in Trinity. So you're going to have to now adjust to what suits your locality or your country. So as I go, and Jazakallah khair for pointing that out, you can always tell me, look, be quiet, because this doesn't apply here. And I'll just skip that section. Alright? So good. Now, I want us to think about this, so tomorrow we can start to, or maybe towards the end of the day, we can start to formulate ways of responding or tweaking things so it works for Canada. Maybe the demo I just gave you of telling people, free information on the purpose of life, maybe it doesn't work here in Canada. So we might do it another way. You tell me what that is. I can't tell you what that is. Maybe we're just going to hand out pamphlets, but without saying a word. I don't know. Maybe that makes a difference. Or maybe you just might ask a simple question. Or you might just say, pray thee, take this. Or I don't know what you do, but someone tell me something by the end of the day. Okay? Okay? Thank you, sir. Right. Anything else? Anyone want to add a good point? Anyone else? Yes, sir?
So are there any pamphlets that you've had good experiences with, or that you...
Like I said, any pamphlet that mentions those basic things, trifold, that's what you pass out more than anything else. The more expensive you'll give to the serious person, the bigger the book or the pamphlet, you give it out when you feel that person might read or will read, or they ask for it specifically. Someone says, I want a Quran, I give them a Quran. The Brief Illustrated Guide to Islam, it used to cost a lot back then, and you just don't throw it out like a trifold pamphlet. But sometimes you meet someone who you feel this person will read, you give it to them. Or they actually see that book and they're more interested in it than the small pamphlet. You give it to them. So, but one of the ones that I like also, that one called Just One Message. You seen that one? No? Okay, well I really like that one. If you write it down, you will have a rough time getting a hold of it. I've always promoted it and people can't find it. And even I give them the email address and the phone numbers and everything from the pamphlet, and none of them work whatsoever. But write your own. Write your own. Okay? Now, the Just One Message, what I like about it, it's brief, to the point, it gets people to think outside of the box, and I've never ever seen this except in that one pamphlet. It asks for the Shahada in the end. Excellent. The credit card application says, fill this form out now. It asks for your business. Everyone pamphlet just talks about Islam, this, and if you don't burn it, do it, this will happen, and then have a nice day. This one says you need to become Muslim right now. Look for a masjid and look and contact them and become Muslim. So you can write your own. Yes, sir.
Would you recommend also handing out like a follow-up card if you're interested, or you have more questions, or you want someone to talk to you, contact this email?
Sure. Or you could have just that sticker and you've stuck it on all your pamphlets that you're going to hand out. They have the email address of the MSA or the masjid that you're associated with, whatever it is. So it works, definitely. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Just another question. When you talk to people, what do you use to describe Allah? Do you use word God or Allah?
Okay, we're coming to that. It's in one of the slides. Right. So here again, quite clear. Stay with the topic. The rules are the same. The rule you talk about the same thing if it's one person or 50,000 people. It's not that here the talk changes. Don't misrepresent Islam. A lot of times people they try to tell the audience something about Islam that's really not true to make them feel more inclined to become a Muslim. I'll tell you why that backfires coming up, inshaAllah. Street da'wah, or MSA da'wah table type da'wah. Just for those who, I will be using a lot of street da'wah examples for the sake of the example and dialogue that went about. But I'm not a big fan of street da'wah anymore. Okay? That doesn't mean it doesn't work, but I'm just not a big fan of it. I just want to put that out there. Because most of the time, I'll tell you, we were in DC, we were doing street da'wah, and this happened, and that happened. But I'm not a big fan of that anymore. When you do it, even within university settings, I recommend that you be in groups, pairs. We travel as a group up this big main road, or we stay as a group in North Courtyard, but then we break up into pairs of two, if we can, ideally. It's just, there's so much benefit of the partner, we're coming to that. Take security into consideration. Sometimes you might buy a little bit more time with someone when you walk with them a little bit. It's one technique we learned from one of our young du'at. But the point is, that's more related to street da'wah. A lot of it does apply to your university table type da'wah. We already went through this slide. The next one, and I think we went through that as well, and we were saying that, don't give the shaitan an avenue. So we don't want to always, this guy's taking out the prettiest girls out to dinner to talk to them about Allah Azza wa Jalla. That's not how it works. So we don't do stuff like that. And once the talk goes beyond or outside of what it is in Islam, then we have a problem. So even if the sister is telling this person about Allah and the Prophet ﷺ, there's no one else except her, fine. But the minute it gets into, hey, giggle, I like the color of your hijab or your shoe, then we have a problem, So one way we solve that, or we used to, is that this is our da'wah table. We have two brothers over here and two sisters over there. And guess who comes to get information from brothers? Yes, Jennifer and Edwina and Vanessa and those people. And who comes to those sisters to learn about Islam? Chad, Brad, and the other guy. So what happens? We do the quick trade. So she comes, she wants to learn about Islam. Okay, well, let me introduce you to Sister Fatima over here. This is Vanessa. She would like to know something about Islam. You come back here, they bring you Chad or whoever comes, and you just keep it like that. Don't give shaitan an avenue. But if there's nobody there, khalas, you lower your gaze, you talk. You don't just... All right. Okay. Before I move on, I'm going to talk about something. When we were talking about pamphlets, and I was saying not every pamphlet is good. There's this thing where when it comes to da'wah, we don't study. And we don't engage in study. Even those of us who are scientists in life, when it comes to da'wah, the science flies out the window for some reason. A lot of times, this is how a good pamphlet is written. Some guy opens up Microsoft Word, he starts to type what feels good to him. He prints it, next day he shows it to his friends. They read it, this is great, they're all Muslims now. All of them like it, this is excellent. And then they say, let's print 100,000 copies of it. Great. This is how I would like to see some group put a pamphlet out, and there's actually a group in Australia that they're doing a great job. They have put a lot of study into formulating an effective pamphlet. When I spoke about this at the workshop, they were in there and they came to me in the break and said, we've been actually doing this. We're working on, pamphlet. They wrote it. Then they're going to get, different focus groups and people to read it of different ethnicities, different religious backgrounds, different age groups, male, female. And then they're going to take this survey. What part did you understand? What part did you like the most? Which part was confusing? Then they're going to adjust and make the necessary changes. Then they will make the 100,000 copies. Make sense?